and Learn, the first one for 2025. I am Amy Pollicastro Schrader, the Career Development Consultant at DPI. If you would please put in the chat, let us know your role and your district, and we're going to work to keep the microphones muted throughout. Reminder to put in your role, meaning, are you middle grades? What's your role? What's your position? Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's wonderful. And we will let people in as they're coming. Good, thanks so much for doing that. We're putting in the chat your district and your role. And we are going to get started. As mentioned, I'm your career development consultant, Keisha Bryant. Going to let you go ahead and you say hello. Go ahead and do that.
Good morning. I am Keisha Bryant, the school counseling consultant, and I work closely with Amy, and excited to be here today to hear this fabulous presentation. It takes me back to my middle school counseling days. So I'm so excited for these two presenters. They are two of my favorite colleagues to work with and on behalf of school counseling and career development work. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Keisha. I love hearing that. Love the enthusiasm, and especially love the dynamic duo that's going to come up here in a second. We've got Jacqueline Wyatt, CTE Career Readiness Specialist, and Ashley Matthews-Smith, CTE Middle Grades Education Consultant. And they're going to share what they do and some tips and resources and best practices for you. And Ashley, if you could go ahead and move to the next slide.
All right, I got to go.
And a reminder that we're going to keep our microphones muted when we come on. We are, unfortunately, our microphones automatically come up. So we're going to try to mute people. But Ashley, thanks for going on a slide too. Just some quick housekeeping items for us. These are live sessions, and during the live session attendance today, because you're attending and registered, you will earn 0.1 CEU. This information will be uploaded to UNICE's transcript. We're not going to have a check-in, check-out part of this, but we'll ask that you do put in the chat your district and role, and that helps us to understand who is in the room. All recorded sessions will be shared to school counselors from Dr. Bryant, and I'll be able to share out to CDCs and SPCs. The recordings will be stored on the Moodle. And if you want to go ahead to the next slide, Ashley. Okay, so if you have questions, take a look, take a picture of the slide. If you have questions that you'd like to follow up with after the session, specifically to Jacqueline, Ashley Matthews-Smith, or myself, or Dr. Bryant, please send an email or use this QR code. I'm also going to put a link to the QR code in the chat. This, again, is for questions for after the session, if you have any that you might want to get addressed then please send us or send a note through this QR code or this form, and we'll get the answers to you. Of course, I will be monitoring the chat today, and if you have any questions while this is going on for our presenters, go ahead and put those in the chat, and we'll have them help you out with those. And with that, I'm going to mute myself. A reminder that this session is recorded. Okay, Jacqueline Wyatt, you are on.
Good morning, everyone. I'm watching the chat populate, and I'm seeing lots of folks from Lenore County Schools
I'm just on the Zoom.
and New Hanover, and so that's awesome.
Um,
Let me mute you real quick. There we go. So yeah, I'm seeing lots of folks from the same PSUs, which is really exciting to know that there are some PSUs out there who perhaps PSU wide are interested in talking with us and learning and growing with us. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself because I haven't done that yet. Hi, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Wyatt. I am the Career Readiness Specialist for CTE at DPI. My main projects are I manage a few grants for CTE, and then I work on 5th grade career awareness education. And so that is sort of an open-ended statement. What does that mean? I work with you all in the field to try and increase awareness of what other folks are doing and and, invite more collaboration. I also work with folks from other states to learn what they're doing so that I can bring information from them, perhaps some interesting things that we're not doing to our state as well. So, okay, if we could go to the next slide, please. All right, so I'm going to jump in with the pre-existing resources for fifth grade career awareness education, and you're going to see throughout. I've abbreviated it to CA because as I was going through this PowerPoint, I realized I had fifth grade career awareness like 50 times, and so you all don't have to. You need to read it that many times. So it's fifth grade CA for us for our purposes today. So let's talk about some of the things we have already existing and already available to you, and I'll get to where you can find them given your role and your availability to the sites are the fifth grade career awareness toolkit. We have a fifth grade folder on Google for school counselors. Anyone can use it, but we developed this folder specifically for school counselors who don't yet have access to our CTE Moodle. I'll get to that too. We have the fifth grade column on the career development continuum. I did do a fifth grade career awareness education panel 2 years ago, which was awesome. Can't wait to share that one with you. We did, or every year we have, it's a legislative requirement that we do a fifth grade career awareness survey. And this survey is actually really helpful for us because we learn a lot about what y'all are doing across the state and are able to, well, first we have to submit a report, but while compiling the information for that report, it's really advantageous for us because we learn about some innovative practices that y'all are doing so we can share them with others. We do have the fifth grade career awareness Moodle PLC, and then summer conference sessions and resources, which I am working on uploading to the, they are on the Moodle and I'm working on getting them onto the Google folder for school counselors. So let's talk about some of these items and what they do. So, okay, the fifth grade career awareness toolkit was my first baby in fifth grade when I joined the team in CTE. It was developed to assist educators in preparing students to pursue their chosen path after graduating high school. And that's the emphasis, their chosen path, right? This guide contains unpacked content, resources, and instructional activities. The materials are samples that may be augmented or modified or even replaced if you start reading one and think, oh, well, that's great, but instead I could flip this over and do it that way for teaching and learning experiences. Let me see something. So this toolkit essentially is a list of things, a list of activities you can do with students in the classroom with fifth grade students. It's not exclusive to fifth grade students. Many of these activities are also suitable for fourth or sixth grade students, sixth grade students being the next highlight other than fifth grade students. But it's organized in a way where it lists the activity, it lists the resources or materials you'll need, and it even says whether or not it's a good idea to get, permission from your leadership, that type of thing. So it's a small but mighty resource. I believe it's around 13 pages. All right, can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you so much. So let's see. Okay, so this one is applicable to all of the school counselors in here who I'm so excited to see. I always love working with the school counselors. You guys are awesome. And anytime I have the privilege of being in a room with one of you, I learn so much. So the fifth grade career awareness folder on Google for school counselors was designed as a one-stop shop location where school counselors can view resources developed by our team at DPI to help with fifth grade career awareness education initiatives, as well as CTE Middle Grades. There is also a folder there. It's really small. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look up above fifth grade resources where it says school counselors, if you click on that one, there's also a folder for middle grades. And these are resources that Ashley Matthews Smith, the middle grades consultant, the CTE Middle Grades consultant, and I have worked to develop and share with you all over the past couple of years. So for now, this is the best one-stop shop for school counselors, but be on the lookout because there are other resources becoming available to you, hopefully in the very near future. All right, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this one is just exciting. I love this. I love the career development continuum. Nobody has their cameras on, so I can't see a show of hands, but I really hope you all have been exposed to the career development continuum at some point in your career. It is a phenomenal resource. Oh, cool. I'm seeing some hands go up. Awesome. So virtual hands going up. This is great. So the career development continuum it was made, and Amy Palacastro Schrader was instrumental, if not one of the creators of this resource. And all I did was come on and add a 5th grade column to it based on her formatting. But it's an amazing resource because it's sort of, though we know career education is not linear, this is a linear visual of what career education might look like for students in your district, school, or for your planning, as you look at what career awareness education looks like for your students. And so it was also developed with the intention of you being able to take it and make it your own, as is everything that I put out. I love the idea of you all taking something that was generated by someone else and saying, okay, this is great, but it doesn't work for our students because of A, B, and C. I'm going to change it up a little bit. And then the next step is to send it to me so I can learn from you, and then I can share it out with the state. But the career development continuum lays it out for you. This is the generic middle school career development continuum. And basically it tells you, so it's really hard to see. And I'm working on my laptop today because my cat ruined my office chair. So bear with me here while I zoom very far in to see what the words say. Actually, the screen just left, Ashley.
Hey, Jacqueline, this is Amy. So while you're doing that, I put in the link to the folder for the group,
Thank
5th
you.
grade. Yeah. And there's
Okay.
a question back that says we need access to that folder. It doesn't seem, but that's something we can give to them, correct?
Okay, so the Google folder, I'll go
Yeah.
in and make sure that I will go in and make sure that the sharing options are anyone who has the link can view it. So that's what I'll do that this morning. Okay, so bear with me as I'm also not wearing my glasses and I'm just working on my laptop here. So the continuum, if you're not familiar with it, it starts out with establishing what you're doing in that grade. So in 5th grade, we're establishing career awareness. So it's simple, right? It's not, bombarding them with all of this information about, college or, graduating career ready or anything like that. It's simply introducing the idea to them of what a career is. And I'll never forget, I was in a collaboration station in 2020, it was either 2020 or 2021, and a career development coordinator, we were talking about 5th grade, we were in the beginning stages I was in the beginning stages of my planning, and a career development coordinator said, yeah, I have a question. How do you introduce the abstract concept of a career to a 10-year-old? And when you have those moments in life where it just kind of like shakes you and you're like, oh my gosh, I never thought about it like that. So that has significantly shaped how I've looked at 5th grade for career awareness education. And so my main focus, and you'll see that in the toolkit, you'll see that especially in this continuum, is focusing on what makes me happy. So we don't want students to, we don't want to go in and say, hey kid, you got to work for the rest of your life until you retire, you know, and it's 40 plus hours a week, and so pick something you like. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. It's, hey, what makes you happy? Do you like working with your hands? Are you interested in helping people? What does that look like for you? Are you interested in the medical field? I'm definitely not. I could never do that. But lots of people are, obviously. So it's just about introducing the concept of what a career is to our fifth graders, and then starting to explore a little bit what that could look like. So the next thing in the continuum, so first we've established that what we're focusing on for fifth graders is career awareness. What does that even mean? The second thing that we do is we have some sample student learning outcome. We have a sample student learning outcome. Students become aware of what a career is, can talk about some careers they have learned about. And sorry, guys, I'm not wearing my glasses. And are exposed. Oh, there. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Amazing. See, this is why Ashley is so great. Um, uh, well, lost it. There we go. And are exposed to self-awareness for potential career likes and dislikes. And that's the biggest thing there. That's self-awareness. That's so huge for me because I like to think I'm young, but then things happen in life and I'm quickly reminded that I'm not. Like my nieces and nephews who are between the ages of 5 and 12, I'll say something and they'll say, "Ah, Aunt Maui, don't ever say that again." And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still young. What are you talking about? I can say that. But so the more I get into this, I realize that there is a disconnect between my brain and the brain of a 10-year-old, right? So that's why you guys are so instrumental and so important, because you work with them every day and you talk to them every day and you get to hear how they think and understand their thought process. So it's easy for you, or easier for you than it is for me, to connect with them and help them with that exposure to self-awareness. You know what I mean? Your students. So that's what we want to do. We want to focus on what makes me happy. Notice it's the bottom bullet point over in the sample experiences, which is a really good segue to the last section of what you'll find on the career development continuum. Sample experiences might include. So these are the things that you can do with your students. The first thing is obviously explore the definition of career. And this goes back to that career development coordinator several years ago who said, how do you explain this concept to 10-year-olds? And it rocked me. So that's where we're starting. We're learning how to explore what a career means in the eyes and ears of a 10-year-old student. So we talk about that across other resources that are available to you from us. So the toolkit goes into this, a fifth grade career awareness toolkit, the first resource I discussed with you, that goes pretty in depth in talking about that. Some other sample experiences, you might have guest speakers come into the classroom. Ashley Matthews Smith and I do a showcase and spotlight tour, and we were visiting a coastal town, this beautiful little town, and there was a teacher who was just very, very passionate about introducing her students to careers. And so I believe it was every Wednesday or Thursday, she would do like a career hour. And she actually brought guest speakers in virtually, and she did it on her own. It wasn't like a website she went to where it's like, career, or sorry, guest speakers available, sign up or whatever. She went out into her community and found folks, which you all have your advisory boards and your business partners, but she went out and found her own, and she brought these people in. And so one of the folks that she brought in was it was a real estate company, and you would not, I was so surprised. Ashley and I were sitting there laughing and giggling and just having the best time, because there were these little babies, right? Our babies, our 10-year-olds. Actually, I believe it was sixth grade. But they were so interested in this real estate company, and they just all kinds of questions. How many rooms does that house have in it? And, what would you sell it for? And is it on the beach? And then my favorite one, and the teacher had to say, we don't ask that, was, well, how much money do you make? But that is important to know, and the teacher did stop this little boy and say, don't ask that question. But it is important to know, how much money you can make in a certain field. So these are just all things that we think about, right? When we're talking about career awareness education for fifth grade students. And middle grade students and just all of CTE. So career discussions, I have career discussions outlined in my toolkit, and I also have them in Spanish. So these career discussions are a really great way to, if you're unsure of how to explore the definition of career and you don't find the toolkit itself to be super helpful in that way, you can go to these career discussions from the toolkit, and so we have them in English and Spanish. Let's see, beginning the awareness of CTSOs and letting our students know the different opportunities that are available to them in their district in the middle grades and high school. And then just, things that we all know about. Career day with local businesses. Those are hard to pull off. If you've ever pulled one of those off, huge kudos to you. I've seen those and I've been to them in person. It's a phenomenal resource for the students, and definitely proves that you all love your students and are doing this for the right reasons. And then career-centered games. That one's huge. We every year at summer conference, we have a session on this. So, but there's a ton more. These are just a few bullets. I believe there are 16 or 17 bullets on the actual career development continuum. So please do check that out. All right, let's go to the next one. Thank you. Okay, this one I'm so excited, guys. This one was so great. So we did a fifth grade career awareness panel. It was combined of a group of professionals from across North Carolina serving in various roles that work with fifth grade students on career awareness education, to speak about their experiences and provide valued empirical insight. The emphasis of this panel was on innovative practices to engage fifth grade students in career awareness. So the panel was recorded and I wrote a report on it directly following. So all of that is available on the Moodle if you are a career development coordinator or a CIMC or SPC. And if you are a school counselor, this is available to you on the shared Google folder, which I will make sure you have access to once Ashley starts speaking. So this was so amazing because as much as I believe in the power of learning from other people about what worked for them, I also, and the innovative practices they're implementing in their districts or at their schools, I also think it's really important to share with folks what didn't work for you and why not. I do believe that we can learn from other people's mistakes. Not that these public school units have made mistakes, but that they've tried something and it didn't work, and here's why. And that might be applicable to you. So that information is in that recording. I believe it was a 2-hour panel. I like to tell people, if you like podcasts, you can, go into this, it's online. So you just pull it up on your phone while you're doing the dishes, listen to it. You don't have to watch it. You can watch it. If you're super passionate, you can pull it up on your TV and watch it. But you can just listen to it like a podcast, because it's a group of, it was 5 individuals. We had a school counselor, a career development coordinator, a CTE director. We had bear with me, it's been a few years. We had someone who was a previous career development coordinator, but had moved into a student support services role, and one other individual. And so it was just great to hear from all the a fifth grade teacher. It was just great to hear from all the different perspectives of, what we're doing in our district and what worked and what didn't. So some key takeaways so far is, for our students, we're focusing on what makes me happy. And we're focusing on learning from other schools and districts and what worked for them and what didn't and why. So that we can and then also taking any resource that I put out, and making it your own, like the career development continuum and this. So, we had the woman who and she was absolutely phenomenal. She was working in student support services, but her position before that was career development coordinator. She held a Careers on Wheels day, and she had a hearse. And I just thought that was brilliant. And when she said it, because she was in the facilitating career development course with me, and when she said it, half the room lit up like me, and they were like, "Oh, that's awesome," and the other half of the room was like, "Oh, that's so weird," you know. So it's super subjective what folks do, and what you would want to do. But I thought it was so cool that she did that, not specifically because it was a hearse, but because of how out of the box she was thinking, and how wonderful that was, and how it certainly inspired me to think outside of the box when I'm creating materials for y'all, working with y'all, learning from y'all, all of the things. So that is the panel. The panel was amazing. I highly recommend going and listening to it as a podcast or a little TV show. All right, next slide. Okay, so this is my last slide. I know I've thrown a lot at you, and or at least a lot of words. And I'll fix that link so that we can get you into those resources. But we have some upcoming resources and initiatives that I'm quite excited about. The first one is regional collaboration stations, including fifth grade teachers, career development coordinators, school counselors, and other interested personnel. They don't have to be CTE. They need to work with students to some CTE capacity. And that could literally just mean that they're working with fifth grade students to talk about careers. So I'm really excited about these. Look for these later this year, perhaps the fall, because we're in the organization phase of this. The second one, I am putting together a fifth grade career awareness focus group. The findings of this focus group will be published via the fifth grade career awareness Moodle. And I'll definitely put them in the career awareness Google folder for school counselors. And so I am actively recruiting folks who are interested in being in this focus group. So if you're interested in this focus group, please take my email down. I believe it's in the next slide, and reach out to me. What are we focusing on? We are focusing on all things fifth grade career awareness. Again, how are you doing it in your district? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What would you like to see more from me and from DPI? Everything. I mean, the document right now on what we're focusing on has to be condensed because it's too much focus. So, and I'm working on that. And by the time I have my focus group formed, we will go into it, and you all, the participants of the focus group, will decide ultimately what you want to focus on, because you are the individuals who are going to be using the information from it. So I'm very excited about this, and I hope some of you are excited about it too and might want to join. It will be online, so you won't have to do any driving into Raleigh, or I live in the mountains, so certainly wouldn't expect some of our coastal folks to drive out here. We'll just do it online. So it's no pressure. It's just something that you're involved in, that will benefit the state and other states, because I don't know if you know this, but North Carolina is certainly a leader in CTE. So I'll share this with states who ask me, what are you doing? Well, we had this phenomenal focus group with amazing volunteers. And then the last thing is Summer Conference 2025. Some of the sessions that I'm planning and working with folks across the state are just, I'm so excited about them. I can't even begin to explain. Last year was amazing. The presentations from the past several years are uploaded to the fifth grade career awareness Moodle, and I'm going to get them onto your school counselor's Google folder as well. So that's it for me for the upcoming resources that I'm allowed to announce, but be on the lookout because there are several more, specifically 3 big ones that I'm just as excited about as the focus group. And but I'm not allowed to announce them yet. So anyways, be on the lookout, get my email. I am always going to respond to your emails. And do what I can to be of service to you. Okay, that's it for me, Ashley. I hope I left you enough time to do your awesome work. if you could go to the next slide so folks could get my information.
Yes, my computer is spinning on me.
Oh no, okay. Let's
Hold on
see.
1 second. I
Okay.
hit next slide, but
It's been put in the chat, Jacqueline, your email.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. And so the next
No,
slide
I put
also
it in the
talks,
chat.
oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep.
The next slide talks about let's connect. Here's my information and you know, all the things. Please, please, please email me. I'd love to hear from you. So key takeaways from me, let's focus for these kids on what makes me happy. Let's take the documents that are provided from me on both, you know, the Moodle and on the school counselor Google folder, and let's amend them to fit our district. And let's get together and collaborate. And that's the biggest, you know, those are the three biggest takeaways I want you to take from me. And always, always, always email me. All right, Ashley, I'll let you have it.
thank you. Give me 1 minute. I had to restart the PowerPoint presentation for some reason. This is what Teams does to me. So hold on 1 second. Let me pull the PowerPoint back up and I will get started. My
You're good,
apologies.
Ashley. It's probably my fault. I tell people everywhere I go, technology like repels me. Like I'll be at the store and all of a sudden their computers will go down right when I'm trying to pay. So it's probably my fault. It's not your fault.
While we're waiting, if you all just flood the chat and just put one takeaway from Jacqueline's presentation for fifth grade career awareness that you learned today. Maybe there was a resource, maybe there was something that you've utilized that you want to enhance more of this year. But if you'll put one takeaway of something that you learned in regards to fifth grade career awareness while we transition to the middle grades.
Thank you, Keisha. I love that. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Okay. I am ready. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Everything
Yes.
functioning? Okay, awesome. All right, but my apologies again. Good morning, everyone. I am Ashley Matthews Smith. I am the CTE Middle Grades Education Consultant for DPI. Some of my duties in my position is to provide support, professional development, manage middle grades curriculum, and also collaborate with my lovely con content area consultants, my coworkers who manage some portions of the middle grade curriculum as well. So that is, and then I am the state liaison for National Technical Honor Society as well. So, but my main job is to support middle grade teachers who are in CTE. So just to get started, we will talk about middle grades career continuum. Middle grades do have their own, with CTE, their own career continuum. If you've ever met me or seen me, my little phrase for CTE middle grades is CTE middle grades is first in CTE. And the reason why I say this is because in CTE middle grades, that is students' first experience with CTE, parents, guardians, and stakeholders' first experience, first glance, first look at CTE before students even get to high school. That's when they start to learn about what CTE is and what CTE is not. So middle grades does have their own career continuum to help middle grade students get started. And Jacqueline already touched on a couple of these things, so I'll just touch on the parts that kind of relate to our sixth, seventh, and eighth grade students. Of course, you see where we have career awareness. That's through all grade levels, starting from fifth grade through eighth grade, because CTE is about making students aware of careers, what their interests are, like Jacqueline was saying, what are their hobbies that could turn into careers or that could be a career that they didn't even know about. But once you move into your sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, what they start to do is explore careers. And they do that through a curriculum that is provided from the state for teachers who teach in it. And it just lets students to start to look deeper into what is a career, what salaries you make in that career, What are some of the job duties and responsibilities? And they kind of focus on two areas within that exploration, and which is called the knowledge of world and work and education. And that's where students kind of see their skills and interests and they start to relate them to the work fields and career fields and occupations and kind of see how those skills and their interests kind of align with careers. And then they also start to explore more of their decision making and goal setting and how their decision making and their goal setting could affect their education and how it can help them plan their careers. So they kind of get more hands-on with just exploring various careers to kind of figure out, hey, I like this, or no, I don't want to do this. So they also have sample experiences that they can kind of dive into that relate to the career continuum. And that is, some to name a few, is career research, um, the NCDA Portrait and Art Contest, the informational interviews, volunteer, our CTSOs, career assessments, our current CDP resources, and then also work-based learning activities that align and that are um, sufficient for our middle grade students. To learn more about the career development continuum, I don't know if you have had a chance to visit our NCDPI website, but to get more resources that relate to the actual career continuum and to see that more in detail, you can even download your own template from this website, portion of the website, to kind of fill in for your county. And you just visit dpi.nc.gov. Once you go to that website, go to the tab at the top that says districts and schools. In that tab, go to classroom resources, and then that's where you will see career and technical education. And then once you find career and technical education, if you go to the place that says career planning and placement, and then to our career development coordination, and you'll see all the research, some more resources, including that middle grades continuum. And like I said, a blank template where you can kind of use and place your items for your county to build your own. Another portion of my job, as I mentioned, is the programming of CTE. In that programming, I do manage some of the middle grades curriculum and also work with some of the content area consultants as they manage curriculum for middle grades. So up next, we're going to talk about some of the curriculum, well, all of the curriculum that we have for middle grade students, which is a lot. You may not know that the middle grades curriculum catalog is very extensive. And so to do that, instead of me just reading you every course we have, because it's a lot, and you'll see, we're going to take what I call a lap. This is going to be the easiest lap you ever taken in your life. You actually don't even got to stand up. I mean, you can still grab your water, but you don't have to stand up. And my lap is you're going to learn something, then you're going to apply it, and you're going to participate. And the way you're going to do this is you're going to play lap bingo. Lap bingo, the link should be put in the chat if someone, Amy or Jacqueline, don't mind throwing that in there for me. It will ask you to force a copy to that card. So once you get to the link, you will make your own copy. And during this portion of the presentation, if you can complete the activities that are outlined in that lap bingo card, and for the winner, I just have bragging rights today. Sorry. But you will get bragging rights for the remainder of 2025. So anyone you see out and about, you can say, I won the lap bingo for the Lunch and Learn series with middle grades and fifth grade awareness. So let's get started. If you could grab your card from the chat, hopefully that link is in there. And if you can just grab that card and get you a copy, I'll give you a couple of seconds to get that open. And Amy and Jacqueline, if y'all can let me know if it's in there.
It is in the chat. Yeah, the link to the
Okay.
lap bingo is in the chat. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. So hopefully everyone was able to access and force you a copy of your own card. Once the game is over, if you would like to let me know in the chat when you get bingo, and if you would like for me to see your card, so I will also know who the bragging rights will go to, please make sure you can share that card with me at my email, ashley.matthews-smith@dpi.nc.gov. So to start off, and this is, start looking in your lap card because it may have a something for you to do. In middle grades, we do have two categories for the curriculum that resides in middle grades. We have courses and modules. And you may ask, what's the difference between a course and a module? I am glad you asked. A course is a 45-hour content for middle grade students. And what is particularly stands out for a course is the teacher has to be licensed in that area to teach what is identified as a course. And then you have a module, which is a little bit shorter hours. They're usually 30 hours of content or 9 weeks. And it can be taught by any licensed CTE area. For example, they can be licensed in business and could teach, if it's an ag module, they can teach that ag module. And the difference is because those modules have been written out very detailed, very plug and play to make it safe and specific for the teacher to be able to deliver that content successfully. So in middle grades, we have two different categories. Again, we have courses and we have modules. So we're going to go over what is considered to be the courses and what are considered to be the modules. And this is where your bingo card will come into play a lot. So first up, we have our agricultural education courses. Now, as you can see, we have a list of them. So this is why I didn't want to just go through and bore you all and read through every last single one of them. So you can see that we start with our AY10 all the way to our AY25. And just little fun fact, the AY10 is our course code. So if you ever see a student schedule, or you may already know this, and then our behind that is the course title. So it starts off with our course code and then our course title. So take a look at your bingo card. Let me see if there's anything that you have, and if anything you have to put in the chat. So I'll just pause there for a minute. All right, and now we'll move on to business, finance, and marketing courses. As you can see here, I know you said, Ashley, why do I see BY at the start and then I see CY at the end? If you do not know, at one time, CY 01, 02, and 03, which is our keyboard and basic word processing, our introduction to office productivity and the Office of Productivity and Application, had once packed their bags and they had moved over to CSIT, but they have came back. So they are back home now with business, finance, and marketing, where they originally started. These courses were part of the business, finance, and marketing content area. They moved over and visit CSIT for a while, and now they're back home in business. So the course codes at this time still have what we consider the computer science course code number, but in the future, they will be changed back to their original business, finance, and marketing course codes. But at this time, they will still identify as CY courses, but they're new home or they're back home in the business content area. And then, of course, we have our CSIT courses, our computer science and information technology courses for our middle school students. And with this particular, we do have a license in this area. But we also have, you can be a licensed business teacher, have also taught computer science courses as well. So that license is kind of spread about. That's why it does kind of reside in our courses. And here are the classes that are available for middle grade students in the computer science and information technology cluster.
Actually, we do have one comment in the chat. Someone's working through that bingo card. Nicole is saying we are teaching Minecraft coding.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, the students, if you've ever seen or been to a Minecraft coding class, it is very gamified. That's what the students enjoy about it, but they really are learning. So you walk in there and it's kind of like, hey, like they're playing a game, but they're actually coding within that game to create that game and get through it. So thank you, Nicole. And then we have our family and consumer science courses, FCS, and their courses consist of FY10 through FY14. As you can see, we used to have one that was hospitality and tourism and personal finance. That course has been retired because of one of our modules, and I'll talk about that in a little bit that we have, but that course is no longer available to be to provide instruction with because it has been retired. And then the other portion of our CTE middle grade courses, which is our technology, engineering, and design courses, they are through two through curriculum vendors, which is ITEA, who kind of houses a lot of our TED courses, as you see, and then also Project Lead the Way, that houses the other half of our technology, engineering, design courses. And this is also part of our CTE family. It's the other T. And then we have our career modules, and these modules are the courses that any licensed CTE teacher can teach it. So that means any content area they have their license in, they can teach this particular curriculum. And we have our EY10 and EY11, who has been with us for a while, and then our two newest courses, which is our EY12 and EY30, which is our exploring financial literacy. And then we have our EY30, which is our career exploration, and which I call that the golden corral of middle grades curriculum. It has a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It is a la carte. It is flexible. It is introducing students to the career when it's all done, because this is part one that we finished. We're getting ready to gear up for part two in about 2 weeks to start working on. But when it is finished, it will introduce students to all of the career clusters, not only the career clusters, but just the careers in that career cluster, give them a high school experience on what to look for going to high school, and they decide to take any of those courses down to a CTSO experience. So that's why I call it the Golden Corral of middle grades curriculum. And when you look at the blueprint, when it's finished, it'll be 61 standards in all, but each standard is considered a 9-week module. So each standard can be a standalone 9-week module, and you kind of pull from that course user guide whatever you like for that district. They pull whatever they like to be taught from that actual information. And they were just released.
Oops. Excuse me. We do have a question in the chat from Emily. CDC has a licensure question. You stated that a business license can teach the coding classes, and there's a question mark. So it seems like the question is around coding classes and business licensure.
Yes,
Maybe.
they have. Yes, from what I have been told, and you will have to check with your CTE director more, because I know with each county it kind of varies, but business teachers can teach computer science classes. We actually have a lot of business teachers teaching computer science classes now, so they are eligible to teach the CSIT courses.
And Emily says thanks.
You're welcome. And then moving on to talk about some of those CTSOs that align with the program areas. Now, you may have some CTSOs that can align with multiple program areas, but the ones I kind of pointed out are the ones that identify the most with that program area. So you have agriculture, and for agriculture, you have FFA, which is Future Farmers of America. Business, finance, and marketing, you have FBLA, which is our Future Business Leaders of America. And we also do have DECA, but at this time, DECA does not provide any opportunities for middle grade students to participate in like competition and events. So FBLA does provide opportunities for middle grade students to come and compete, for you to have a middle grades chapter, and to do events and hold officer clubs. We also have Family and Consumer Science, FCCLA, Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. Then you have HOSA, our Future Health Professionals. And then for computer science, IT and technology, our CSIT, you have TSA, our Technology Student Association, and then for trade and industrial, TNI, you have Skills USA. And all of those CTSOs provide opportunities for middle grade students to participate and for middle schools to have chapters at their respective counties and competitions and events for students to participate in and join that aligns directly with the curriculum. To learn more about any of the courses or modules that I've talked about during this presentation, you can go to our CTE course management system and pull course information and course standards, and you will get a very detailed look. This site is open to the public. You can provide it to parents as well if they want to see kind of like what their students are learning in CTE, what are some things that teachers may cover. This site is open to the public, so you can not only use it yourself as a resource, you can share it with parents and guardians and stakeholders to also share information about CTE.
Ashley, we do have a question in the chat
Okay.
from Pamela in Wake County. Which CTSO would you recommend a student participate if they are in careers courses, quote unquote? We've considered starting a Skills USA chapter to pull in these students so they can gain leadership opportunities. But she's asking, is there a CTSO that you recommend over the other for career courses interests?
Thank you for that question. If it's the EY10, EY11, because that's really focused a lot on just careers, I would say Skills USA. They do have a little bit of everything. I will also call them the Golden Corral of a CTSO. They do kind of have a little mixture of a lot. Also, TSA has a good mixture of a lot of things, and FBLA. But if you were thinking about Skills USA, the things with Skills right now, I know they are working on having events for students right now. They have where they can do projects and come and do displays. TSA and FBLA they do have competitions where students can participate in. So kind of think about what you, I guess, want that student to be able to do. If you want them to compete, I would say maybe a TSA or FBLA that has a good mixture of a lot. Skills, if you like them to do like projects where they can display stuff for middle grades, then skills. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah, she says thanks, projects versus competitions. And then there's
Yes.
another question coming in from Amy Garner related to the course management system. Do you know if there's any way to filter and find just middle school options? And just so you
No.
know, we're at 11:23.
Okay. No, and I do have a document of my own that lists all these courses. So if you send me an email, I will send you that list of all the middle grade courses so you can just go and type them into the CMS and pull them up. Okay, and to move through this pretty quickly, this last part, to talk about our middle grades vision that we have with CTE. This is something I worked on since I've started at CTE, started at DPI, my apologies. And this is just a resource to help build and develop and just continue excelling middle grade programs. We've had a couple of counties that participated in what we considered a pilot that they piloted with their middle schools is 12 counties exact just to help their middle grade programs grow and just what things they can do to help and if you already have an excelling CTE middle grade programs, how to keep that moving forward. And with this working, we have identified a couple of areas of focus. These areas of focus has been identified through research as the main areas of focus to help a CTE middle grades program grow and continue to excel and grow. But there are a couple of items from that research that I feel like our middle grade or our high school, if you partner with a middle school, career development counselors and our school counselors can help within our CTE middle grade courses and help with teachers. One way to partner with CTE to enhance and supplement instruction in CTE classes is maybe career development activities. If you have some that you know of or some just in your file cabinet and you like, I don't know if the teacher will want this, give it to them. Walk them through it, provide it to them. Because some may know, like, I need to talk about careers in my class, um, specifically, but may do not know how to do that, especially if they may be a new teacher. What work-based learning opportunities are aligned with middle school, and then invite maybe high school students, set up CTSO presentations where you can partner with the local high school CTSOs and have them to come over and present for the middle school students to represent that particular CTSO and get students excited. Maybe start one at their local middle school. Also, plan, develop, and support professional development as it aligns with career development. This can be helping teachers plan effective instructional practices when introducing careers, because again, some may know they need to do it, but not just the how. Help them develop hands-on lessons for introducing careers, and then how to implement that activity within their classroom. Also, with enhanced communication, promoting your CTE middle grade program. Be the person to talk to the CTE director about that particular program. Send out communication to parents in the community about the CTE middle grade programs at your school, or if you're high school, at your partner middle school. And just make sure you know the spotlight and showcase some of the excellent things that's going on at your middle school within CTE. Because some parents don't know we have CTE in middle school. They're like elective, which it is, but they don't quite understand that elective is a career and technical education class and what that is. Develop partnerships with local business and industries to kind of help out with work-based learning opportunities, guest speakers, field trips, maybe kind of creating a directory for teachers to kind of refer to, or having with the career fairs and the career days, having that directory, maybe setting up a school-wide one so teachers won't keep calling the same companies at different times, but the one company can come that particular day and maybe kind of touch bases with all of the CTE courses on that day. And enhance and support your middle grade classrooms by going and doing visits. It doesn't have to look like a teacher evaluation. When I used to be the middle grades specialist for Durham Public Schools, I used to tell them like, hey, I'm just coming in to see how you're doing, to talk, help you with what you need help with, and let them know that I was not coming to evaluate them, to try to make them feel more comfortable about me coming in their classroom. If they're doing like a career lesson, maybe participate and co-teach with them through that career lesson, or ask them like, hey, if you're doing a career lesson and you want some feedback, I don't mind stopping by, maybe giving you some feedback about the way you implemented that career activity within your course. And then again, just communicate information about CTE as you get it to the teachers and the students and families. And last and not least, a shameless plug for our Showcase and Spotlight tour. Jacqueline talked about this early. This is where we go around the state. We love to come and visit middle grade and fifth grade awareness programs. It can be career fairs. It can be classroom visits. We will love to come and visit, see all the awesome things you're doing. What we do, you showcase, we spotlight. So we'll come and take pictures and spotlight it out to the state of all the awesome things that are going on in your county. And that's just a quick glance at some of the counties that have participated in the past. And if you're interested, please complete our form. Please invite us out. We would love to come and see you. And to wrap it up, follow us on all our social medias. And I'm Ashley. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to email me. I do respond back. I do set up one-to-ones if you like to just meet and talk. And I do make visits, house calls. Thank you. And they're 11:29, and now I'm done.
Yeah, I just put the wrong link in the chat for your showcase and spotlight tour. I don't know why I didn't. My apologies, everybody. It didn't copy correctly, so here it comes again. And again, all the PowerPoint with all the link will go in share out to CDCs and SBCs through the Moodle, and Dr. Bryant will share that out through her resources. But there's a link through the showcase and spotlight tour. It is 11:30. I don't know, Ashley and Jacqueline, if you had a few more minutes, just in case there are any questions, and Keisha, we can hang on for a little bit, and I will turn off the recording. So it's just an hour recording, but we are